There we are. We're live on Brunch with Brian. So today we're going to finish out Landlord Week. So obviously we've been doing Landlord Week all week, and Willow's been joining us, haven't you, girl? And we've been talking about being a landlord, the advantages of being a landlord, making money while you're sleeping, and all the pluses, also balancing being just a straight landlord between that and being a landlord seller. And instead of just doing a straight rental, doing a rent to own property or at least purchase. So we talked about that. The other thing I want to talk about is getting referrals from landlords. So if you talk to a landlord and you use our script and it looks like, okay, they're not going to be able to do the deal, it's the landlord opening call script, and this house doesn't work for whatever reason, they're not going to do it. Always ask them if they know of any other landlords who might be, I mean, they're a landlord. They hang out with landlords a lot of times at these clubs and that. So a good chance they know other landlords, and they might send you someone, and you're going to tell them, hey, if you send me anyone I help, I'm going to send you $1,000 as a referral fee. In fact, if they're a pretty, relatively engaged professional in the business, especially if they've done wholesales before, I'll even maybe offer as much as 5,000. I might tell them we'll give you 1 to 5,000, depending on the deal. I mean, I can always pull it back to 1,000, but I'd be willing to pay 5,000. If somebody brings me a great deal, is it worth $5,000 to you? Absolutely. You're going to make $50,000 or $100,000, especially on a long-term lease purchase. So now today we're going to talk about, so we've talked about a lot of parts of landlording, and I definitely want you marketing to landlords. So when you market to a landlord, you're saying, hey, you're already renting the house. Would you consider a rent to own? And we will take care of all the repairs and maintenance. So again, what is the landlord looking for? They're looking for a regular monthly payment they can count on, and no hassles if possible. Okay, and they're even willing to take on some hassles. Well, guess what? You can take all the hassles away and still send them a nice monthly payment they can count on. So you're actually providing them what they're looking for if you offer it properly. Good morning, Caleb. How's everybody doing this morning? Okay, so now we're going to talk this morning, and I told you about this yesterday. Sometimes when you call for landlords, who picks up? Remember, you're calling on houses for rent. Okay, write that down. Calling on houses for rent. Okay, now when you call houses for rent, sometimes you're going to get sellers. I mean, sometimes you're going to get landlords, and then sometimes you're also going to get what? You're going to get property managers. Some landlords use property managers to rent out their properties, and so they're not taking the calls. That's why we have the property manager opening call. This is a script. I usually try to get these scripts down to 1 page. This one is 2 pages. It's pretty simple though, and I'm going to go through it with you guys. Okay, so let's say you're calling. This might happen today. I want you to call between 5 and 10 landlords today if you haven't called them this week, and talk to me about it on Monday if you're going to call them over this weekend. Okay. Now, sometimes it's going to be a property manager. So you're going to say, hi, I'm Brian Wolf. I'm calling about your property for rent over on Mulberry Street. Is it still available? Yes. Okay, great. Again, my name is Brian Wolf. And what was your name? Joe. Okay, that's great. Now, wait. All right. Now, usually by the way they answer the phone, you're already kind of tipped off that this is not the actual property owner. They might answer it as a management company. They might even say, Two Trees Management Company, so they might even answer it as a management company. So this is where you get into that. Now, are you actually the property owner or are you a property manager? Okay, now if they say, oh, I'm the owner, you go to the landlord script, landlord opening call script. If they say I'm a property manager, then you go to this script. Okay, so this script says, okay, great. We work with a lot of property managers. We're actually investors. We buy and sell rental properties all around the area. Now, this is where you say your bio, say something good about yourself, your credibility. That's where that is. Real estate and credibility is important Investing credibility is important with a property manager. They've seen a lot of people. They're in the business. They've talked to a lot of people. You want to seem real. So, and then after you tell them your bio, you say, so do you manage mostly single family rentals like this one? Or do you have apartments and commercial properties too? You're hoping they're just doing single family rentals because that's kind of what you're looking for. Well, we're serious buyers for single family rentals. Are you managing properties for individual investors like us or bigger companies? And so that's a big thing. If they're managing properties for some big company, you're probably not going to get a lot of good referrals. But if they're managing properties for many, many landlords, that's a good potential that you could get some leads off of that, because there's a lot of landlords, they all have changing situations, and sometimes they're going to want to sell. And they're going to go to their property manager and say, hey, I'm thinking about selling. And then the property manager will think of you and say, hey, I could make $1,000 on this deal if I just give them their name. That's the idea here. So great. And so you're going to say, are you managing properties for, and so hopefully they say, well, I'm just managing properties for small individual landlords. Great. So as the owner of this property on Mulberry, an individual investor? The reason I ask, we find a lot of good properties to buy from other investors like us. When we find a distressed property, now we usually pay cash, but when the property is already in good condition, like your listing here, like your rental listing, we like to buy it as a rent to own or with seller financing. Obviously, I don't know the specific owner situation. They're already asking for monthly payments though. Now they'd still get monthly payments from us. The main difference would be they'd never have to worry about maintenance and repairs. We'd cover all that going forward. Plus, we'd still be using the same property management company. We'd still use you guys too, so you're not going to lose the account. Tell them that, because they don't want to have a house sold and then they lose the account. Tell them you're going to keep using them to manage the property, okay? Even if you might switch down the road, initially keep them on for a little while, okay? So what do you think, Joe? Would you know if the owner here might be open to selling the property for top price and taking monthly payments? What if they say yes? Then you say, then you go to this part here. If they say yes, that's great. Well, let me go ahead and prepare a letter of intent with our offer, and I'll send it over soon. Can I get your best email address and text number? Now, if you're going for the close, if you know this is the right kind of property and you kind of know what your offer is going to be, you can move forward, all right? But let's say they say, I'm not sure or whatever. I understand not all owners get excited about this. There are some who do though. So if you think about it, do you have any other owners, any other clients who might be interested? Okay, so always ask. If they say, no, this individual owner would never do that or doesn't want to do that. That's when you say, well, do you have any other clients or owners who might be interested? That's great. Do you have any addresses I could start checking out? Or do you want to talk to your clients first about a full price offer? So you're building rapport here. Okay, in the meantime, and so then you'd say, remember, this is where they said yes, and you say, that's great. Let me go ahead and prepare a letter of intent. This is if you're going to go ahead and close. You might want to set up a showing, but remember, what do you know about this house? It's rent ready. You're assuming just by the numbers and looking at the Zillow or wherever you see the listing that this thing's ready to go, and you can make a lot of assumptions. And I'm ready to send a letter of intent. I mean, if there's pictures in there and they're telling me it's rent ready, I'm ready to send an offer, a letter of intent. Let's get serious. Okay, and then you say, I'll be following up soon with you on this. Until then, if you can think of any other property owners who might be interested in some win-win deals, please let us know, because we love working with other investors. We love to work, and now this is a little extra tag to make an extra connection. We love working with rent-owned buyers too. You probably know some of them. These are folks who want to live in a nice home and they deserve to, but they've had some rough credit or other issues in the past few years. Now our goal is to help out people in this situation, put them into nice homes and helping them get qualified. Sometimes we even pay for their credit repair, so these families can have their own share of the American dream of home ownership. Now, you see if they're loving that. Some of these property managers, they really care about their renters. And if they could see one of their renters turn into a homeowner and you could help that happen, they actually that would mean a lot to them emotionally. So if you're connecting, when you explain that and they say, wow, you're really helping people, and they really key on that, that's your way in to really start getting some good referrals. Not necessarily with rent-owned buyers, because you can usually find some good rent-owned buyers, but if they have rent-owned buyers with 20 grand sitting on a shelf, I'd gladly pay them $1,000 or more if they bring me some great buyer like that. So just take down my contact information now so you can reach me anytime. Oh, we also love working with, I got to get one more part in. So there's just 2 little sections left. We also love working with property managers because you can help us find the owners and the rent-owned buyers to work with. Plus, one of the best things of all is we pay a $1,000 marketing fee to any property manager who sends us a seller or buyer who we help. So it sounds like you work with a lot of them, right? A lot of sellers and buyers. Okay, that's awesome. Just take down my contact information so you can reach me anytime. In fact, you can even put me in your phone under buyer. Now, you decide what you want to be in there on their phone. Okay, I say buyer for a property manager. So if one of their landlords says, gee, I'm thinking about selling, they think, oh, you know what? I have a buyer on my phone. I think I put them in here under buyer. And that's what you tell them. You say, put me in your phone under the word buyer. In fact, put my last name, just put buyer. My last name is Buyer. So my first name is Brian Wolf, and then my last name is Buyer, and then my company name and my phone number and that. So have them put you in their phone. So if they're ever kind of trying to remember you, they'll just think, oh yeah, that person wanted to buy. All right. Great, Joe. Well, I look forward to following up with you soon. So this is one of the best scripts I ever wrote. They're all great, and you should be using them all on a regular basis. So you're really getting in there and using these scripts and being successful with them. So that was our landlord week this week, and I wanted to finish off because sometimes when you call in landlords, you're going to talk to property owners. Use that script. If you need that script, let us know. Call the office, 888-RICH-NOW. Or, of course, you can always send an email to support@thewolfcouple.com. You can always do that, guys. William says hi. Just chimed in. Guys, go back and listen to this. If you're a little bit late, I want you to really listen to this because I went through that property manager opening call script. But you know what? It's really almost a closing call script. So it's amazing. Today talked all about this. So check it out. Learn from it. Every time you call, I want you to call 5 to 10 houses for rent this weekend. And when you're calling them, sometimes a property manager will pick up, and this is a great script to use. So I love property managers. That's our affirmation for today. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I love property managers. I love property managers. I love property managers. Yes. Let's start deep breathing. Nice deep breath in. Go. And let it go. Relax your shoulders and your neck. 1 more. 2 more. Really deep. Hold it a second and let it go. I see a lot of you guys are coming on now, so definitely go back and listen to the beginning if you missed it. 1 more deep breath in. Because we role played this property manager opening/closing call, and it's so powerful. You're going to get a lot out of it. So call houses for rent this weekend, 5 to 10 of them. And then we'll be back together on Monday. And if you want to send me anything, I would love to see what you guys are doing. Anytime you want to send me an email or anything, just send it to support@thewolfcouple.com and just have in the subject line for Brian, and then whatever subject line you want. So that's how you can get a hold of me anytime. And I would love to see anything that you guys have got cooking with landlords. That was our great landlord week. You can even go back and review the ones from this week, all talking about calling on houses for rent. Okay, so until I see you on Monday, I want you to have a great weekend. Be productive, call some houses for rent, turn these into deals, change your life. And so keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and of course, doing what it takes for success, which is